series of creatures pulled up from beneath the Antarctic ice has left the entire world in shock. A human-like body frozen solid, or pitch-black merfolk. These are the kinds of recordings no one believed were real. Watch until the very end, because the final moment might just give you chills. The first footage is said to have been captured by a scientific expedition near McMurdo Station, where temperatures dropped to -40 degrees Fahrenheit. While drilling through the ice to collect deep water samples, their steel hook suddenly snagged on something incredibly heavy. And when they pulled it up, everyone froze in disbelief. A gray, cold body, over 6 feet long, slowly emerged from the ice. Its head was abnormally large, its mouth gaping wide to reveal rows of shark-like teeth, and its arms ended in long, curved claws that looked like rusted metal. Some even claimed it let out a terrifying scream, as if it was resisting the humans. It could be an ancient predator species once living in the deep ocean, related to the marine lizard known as the mosasaur, or perhaps a form of evolution unknown to science. Others, however, believe it was artificial, a product of a secret experiment buried for decades. And what truly sent shivers down everyone's spine was this. After that day, no one knows what happened to the creature. Did they really awaken something that was never meant to exist beneath the Antarctic ice? These images are believed to have been recorded by an expedition team from the International Glacier Project, as they drilled more than 2 miles deep into the ice near the Ellsworth Mountains. Instead of the usual ice and ancient algae samples, they discovered frozen shapes, resembling humans. When pulled up, the figures revealed pale, skeletal bodies, cracked skin, hollow eyes, and mouths wide open as if screaming for help. Some were still curled up, frozen mid-motion, as though caught while running from something unimaginable. Genetic experts reviewing the footage noted that the skeletal structure was nothing like modern humans. They had longer ribs, sharp teeth, and claws resembling those of predators. Some believe these are skinwalkers, human hybrids from Native American legends, but found this time in the far south of the planet. What's even more terrifying is that not one, but at least 7 of these bodies were retrieved from the same area. Soon after the video spread online, the entire research site was locked down, and the team vanished without a trace. Could there be an undiscovered branch of biology hidden beneath millions of years of ice? Or is this proof of a secret genetic experiment once conducted at the southernmost edge of Earth? And not long ago, on December 2nd, 2024, in the western region of Antarctica, the PolarScan expedition team captured a moment that sent chills down the entire world's spine. At a depth of more than 138 feet beneath the thick ice, a camera placed inside a frozen cavity recorded the image of a massive creature slowly crawling out of the icy wall. At first, they thought it was a limestone block, until 8 pale white legs began to move, cracking the ice around them with a sharp, echoing sound. The creature's body was nearly 6.5 feet long, with a leg span stretching over 15 feet. Its shell was thick, shimmering faintly with the bluish tint of the ice. Its deep black eyes reflected the camera light like glass, reminding many of the Antarctic sea spider, but nearly 10 times larger. Some researchers believe it could be the evolutionary descendant of an ancient arthropod that once lived in prehistoric oceans, back when Antarctica was still a warm rainforest. But what terrified the team was that the creature wasn't completely frozen. It was moving, crawling out of its icy chamber. Do you think the creatures beneath the ice might actually be coming back to life? Now you're looking at some of the most disturbing images ever captured. Since early December 2024, Countless photos and videos believed to be taken along the Antarctic coastline began spreading online, shocking the entire world. Among them, the most famous shows a scientific expedition discovering a human-shaped block of ice buried deep beneath the snow. When they began chipping away at the ice, the group froze in disbelief. Inside was a small creature with gray, cold skin, a bald head, glowing red eyes, and sharp, bared teeth as if screaming. Its body was stiff, yet its face was twisted in pure terror, frozen at the exact moment of horror. But that was only the beginning. Other videos show mermaid-like beings frozen mid-swim, with human torsos and long tails covered in silver scales. Some ice blocks even contained creatures that looked like hybrids between humans and marine animals, with fins, gills, and enormous eyes staring wide open. In one clip, people even claimed to see a real black mermaid swimming among drifting icebergs, its eyes filled with fury as if confronting the expedition team. Watching these scenes, many couldn't help but ask, is this just an elaborate hoax? Or is something being hidden in Antarctica? Next, let's move on to a series of living creatures found beneath the Antarctic ice. One so strange that even veteran scientists refused to believe they were real. Deep in the darkness, more than 3,000 feet below the Antarctic ice, the team's camera captured something beyond belief. A pale pink body floating mid-water, looking like a giant flower, but each petal started moving. Not 8, not 10, but 20 long, flexible arms swaying independently, as if each had its own mind. This creature is known as the strawberry feather star. In slow motion, you can see fine hair-like structures along each arm, used to capture microscopic particles in the water. A survival mechanism so advanced, it resembles a living biorobot. It glides gracefully, rotating through the dark, responding to the faint light of the camera, as if it were observing the humans in return. No one can explain how such a fragile organism survives where normal cells would instantly rupture from the freezing cold. And that's why this strawberry feather star is often described as the most alien-looking creature ever found on Earth. In December 2013, the Andrill project drilled through more than 980 feet of ice in the Ross Sea, Antarctica. When their camera descended, the team expected to find only mud and ice. Instead, they saw hundreds of milky white creatures hanging upside down, clinging to the underside of the ice like a forest of living organisms defying gravity. The species was identified as Edwardsiella andrille, the Antarctic sea anemone. What shocked scientists was how its biology completely defied the rules of life. It receives no sunlight, has no symbiotic algae, and no visible food source. In -2 degrees Celsius seawater, where salt water is almost frozen solid, they still flexed, stretched, and reproduced. Researchers have no explanation for how they sustain energy. One theory suggests they absorb nutrients directly from microbial streams in the water, but no one has ever proven it. Their existence forces us to ask a chilling question. Does life really need light and warmth to begin? In one starfish specimen collected near the Ross Sea, Chilean scientists discovered something horrifying. Inside the starfish's organs were tiny moving roots. Under the microscope, they revealed themselves as full organisms, with hearts, vessels, and reproductive systems of their own. This parasite is called Dendrogaster antarctica. It invades a starfish's body, burrows deep into its organs, and grows its entire form inside the host. When the starfish eats, the parasite absorbs every nutrient, slowly draining it without killing it. Why? Because it needs the host alive, to hatch its eggs inside it. Marine biologists call this one of the most perfect parasitic systems on the planet. A creature so small, yet able to control its host's biological rhythm. In the polar world, where life is fragile, cruelty itself becomes the key to survival. At nearly 1,000 meters deep, under crushing pressure and freezing water, a slow-moving purple creature drifted before the lens. Its body was smooth, with no spines, no ink sac, and no known defensive organ. This was Bathypurpurata profunda, an octopus described as an unfinished form of evolution. It doesn't shoot ink, it doesn't camouflage, it doesn't attack. It simply drifts silently, its heartbeat barely detectable. When exposed to light, it doesn't flee. It gently turns its body, as if studying its observer. Researchers believe it may descend from an ancient line of octopuses long extinct. What amazes them is that in an environment with pressure hundreds of times greater than surface level, it survives with almost no defense system. A creature that exists purely through adaptation, a reminder that sometimes silence is the strongest form of survival. No one in the expedition expected to see anything like this. Nearly 1,000 meters below the Antarctic ice, where light cannot reach, the submersible's camera caught a translucent form floating in the dark. At first, everyone thought it was just a giant plastic bag drifting in the current. But then, the sheet began to pulse, expanding and contracting, as if breathing. This was Deepstaria enigmatica, a massive jellyfish so rare that few scientists have ever seen it alive. It has no tentacles, no skeleton, no eyes, and no fixed structure, just a transparent membrane thin enough for light to pass through, yet strong enough to withstand the crushing weight of the deep ocean. What stunned the researchers was how it hunted. Instead of striking, Deepstaria waits. When a small fish or crustacean drifts by, it opens its body into a giant sac, envelops its prey, and closes slowly. The entire process happens in perfect silence. The only sign of life is the camera light illuminating red vein-like patterns inside, pulsing like the heartbeat of an alien being. When Antarctic divers first encountered this fish, they thought they were hallucinating. Its body was crystal clear, its organs shimmering beneath the light, yet there was no red color, no blood vessels, and no normal circulation. This is the icefish, the only vertebrate on Earth without hemoglobin, the molecule that makes blood red and carries oxygen. Instead, its body contains transparent plasma, and oxygen diffuses directly through its skin. In near-freezing water, where normal blood would solidify, the icefish survives because its plasma remains fluid and its body temperature matches the surrounding sea. It is a total contradiction to biology. No blood, no pigment, no protective enzymes, yet it thrives and reproduces. That's why scientists call it the living paradox of Antarctica, a creature that rewrites the limits of evolution. And then, as the probe descended nearly 9,000 feet below the surface, the camera captured a sight no one expected. On the cold, dark seabed, dozens of pale pink creatures were crawling slowly, almost like they were walking on the moon. They had soft, jelly-like bodies, many legs, and at times puffed up like floating air sacs. These were sea pigs, strange deep-sea cucumbers found only in the polar regions. What astonished scientists wasn't how they looked, but how they survived. Sea pigs feed on decaying organisms buried in the freezing mud, places where almost no oxygen remains. They absorb seawater through their skin to extract oxygen and can withstand pressures over 300 times greater than at the surface. Beneath the silent Antarctic ice, these pigs of the sea exist as the ocean's quiet cleaners. a living reminder that life still thrives in the very place humanity calls the end of the world. Now brace yourself for a nightmare. Before your eyes is an 8-legged creature crawling slowly across the seabed, but its legs stretch nearly 1.5 feet long, while its body is no bigger than a coin. This is the Antarctic sea spider, a colossal marine arthropod that grows nearly 10 times larger than its temperate relatives. Scientists confirmed that in freezing environments, metabolism slows dramatically, allowing oxygen to spread through the body more efficiently. And that's what enables the spider to reach its monstrous size. It moves sluggishly, has almost no red blood, and lives most of its life alone beneath the ice. Its eerie form has earned it the nickname living fossil, proof that Antarctica still preserves creatures from a time long before humans walked the Earth. While studying the strawberry feather star, scientists discovered a related species with a shocking ability. It could move. These creatures belong to Promachocrinus kerguelensis, an ancient relative of starfish. When exposed to light, they suddenly contract their long, root-like arms and push themselves off the seabed, gliding away with the synchronized motion of dozens of tiny limbs. This discovery stunned scientists, as starfish are typically immobile. Yet here, in the harshest environment on the planet, these Antarctic creatures evolved the ability to move like higher animals. It raises a haunting question. Could these beings be evolving, breaking free from their fixed form and becoming a new kind of life beneath the ice? Around the same time, in the western Antarctic waters, a research team from the University of Virginia discovered a brand new predator. Under the ROV's light, it appeared, 1/2 meter long, its skin almost transparent, its mouth lined with hundreds of tiny glass-like teeth. This fish, named Acarotaxis gouldae, the Antarctic dragonfish, lives in total darkness, where temperatures remain below freezing. Its flesh contains special enzymes that prevent its blood from solidifying, and its clear teeth reflect almost no light, allowing it to hunt invisibly. It's living proof that even in the harshest places on Earth, nature still forges perfect predators. And it makes you wonder, if such a creature exists at this depth, how many others remain hidden in the darkness, waiting to be discovered? But the most shocking discovery didn't come from the ocean. It came from land. In the sedimentary rocks of the Transantarctic Mountains, archaeologists uncovered a massive skull nearly 3 feet long, filled with sharp, curved teeth like blades. This was Cryolophosaurus elioti, a carnivorous dinosaur that lived over 190 million years ago. It measured around 23 feet long, weighed more than 660 pounds, and had a spiral-shaped bone crest atop its head, like a crown. This finding completely changed what we thought we knew about Antarctica. It proved that this frozen land was once a warm, lush rainforest where dinosaurs roamed freely. As the Earth cooled, everything was buried beneath thousands of feet of ice. If a predator like Cryolophosaurus could once rule the South Pole, who can say that something else isn't still preserved down there, waiting to awaken when the ice finally melts? And now, the moment you've all been waiting for, the one that will leave you speechless. Among all these strange discoveries, one final video left the entire world silent. In footage reportedly recorded by an international research team in the Ross Sea, a perfectly circular hole, about 30 feet wide, can be seen in the ice. At its center, a massive black object is slowly rising from below. At first, everyone thought it was volcanic rock or a sunken submarine. But as its surface began to move slightly, reflecting light like living skin, the air around it turned deathly still. The scientists stood at a distance, some holding tranquilizer rifles and thermal sensors. Despite the air temperature being negative 40 degrees Celsius, the object emitted a faint warmth, melting the ice around it. Then, a low rumble echoed from deep underground, and the top of the object began to move, almost like something breathing. Could it be an ancient sea creature larger than a blue whale, trapped under the ice for millions of years? Or perhaps it's something artificial, a craft or containment structure from a long-lost civilization. Which one do you believe? So what do you think is the truth buried beneath the Antarctic ice? Were these creatures discovered by chance? Or is there something far greater being hidden from the world? Tell us which one gave you chills in the comments below. And don't forget to hit subscribe so you won't miss the next mystery that science still refuses to explain.